Ed, I'd love to welcome you to our
Thank you.
little lounge here at the 21st Annual CFRI Education Conference. And Ed, if you would love to introduce yourself, I would love to share it with our online viewers. Tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe why you're here, how the conference is going for you.
Well, Ed Kinney from locally, Cupertino, California.
Just
20
bought an
miles.
iPhone. Just bought an iPhone.
Right,
Cupertino's
exactly. He's home of iPhone and a lot of other things. Got involved with the CF community about 26 and a half years ago as kind of an outgrowth, not kind of an outgrowth of having participated in a seminar kind of thing. And one of the things we were requested to do is make a pledge to make a difference, whether it was your own personal life, what have you. Some people said try to lose a lot of weight. Others said they're going to work on world hunger. I thought that's a little out of my line. But having known about Children's Hospital, yet not being particularly big interest in volunteering at hospitals, I nonetheless said, I think I'll look into volunteering at Children's Hospital at Stanford. Okay. Well, short story, because I was working then, and working in the city, the only opportunity was in the evening, and the only opportunities for volunteers in the evening was recreational therapy, which was, kind of my line. I don't mind playing, doing something more rigorous. I do that for my living. So I started doing that, and at that day and age, the old Children's Hospital, there were very few volunteers, and even though the population, the inpatient population was small, but the more active group tended to be the oncology kids, immune suppressed, as I learned a lot of things in a hurry. And the way this place was structured, they were in one unit, some other kids with other issues in this unit, and then over in this unit, called the McElroy unit, I was later to learn, was some kids in the oncology unit and kids over here in this McElroy unit couldn't play together. Immune suppressed, over here, pseudomonas-resistant, whatever that meant, which they didn't bother to tell me. Oh, they had CF, whatever that meant. Never heard of that. It was not on my short story. Eventually, after several months, they added more volunteers. And so I asked the recreational therapist one evening, so would you want me to go over to McElroy? And you've got, between other volunteers and siblings and parents that help out with your recreation, you want me to go over there and see if they need anything from recreation? And for whatever reason, the kids didn't throw me out. They put up with the old man for 26 years now. And people say, oh, gee, that's so wonderful. I look at it anymore as they're a group of friends. They're a group of people I've known, because as the nature of the CF community,
Sure.
You get to know them, you get to know their families, and you get to know their whole history. And the people I was friends with at work, but I saw them at work. And you can think of all sorts of social, different settings that you know those people in that environment. Well, as the nature of CF, they're scattered all over this part of the state. And so I would have a hard time seeing them anywhere else except at an institution that happens to be called a hospital. And so, they're still, even though with the evolution of CF and the turnover, I know most of the people, particularly the older ones, for a lot of years, and, it's my chance to see them.
What kind of activities do you do?
Now,
are you doing recreational
well, yeah, I
therapy?
still do. My name tag still is children's.
Uh-huh.
And so if I want to be a volunteer, I'm obligated for 2 hours. If I don't only do it one day, whatever time I'm there, it's 2 hours, because recreation is open for about 2 hours. And so it's really whatever the recreational therapist wants to do. The current string of therapists have been really artsy-craftsy type, which is not really my long suit, but I will help them set up, and a kid needs some supplies to this, I'll go get that, and maybe if something needs to be cleaned up, I'll help them do that. As far as the actual creative processes, that's not my strength. Or I can go into the game room, which is adjacent, it's all one big nice current children's hospital has a very, very nice recreation area for kids. And I can set up the PlayStations or the Nintendo, but again, at my age, don't sit there and try to get with those kids on how to actually run the games or compete. Very hard on the ego. They'll wipe you slick. So, and then what I do, particularly when some of the CF people are in, is I end up, because they do know them, it's just like paying a visit. I go see them and talk and just see what they've been up to. Some of the younger ones that I don't know as well, I'm getting to know them and their parents. I think I can offer, a few different insights, at least a historical perspective on the CF community that now, given the hypersensitivity to cross-infection, they just don't have an opportunity to meet their fellows. And I learned this 26 years ago in a big hurry.
Sure.
The community is a big factor in supporting CF,
Yes.
and I won't get on my favorite soapbox on that for the purposes of this. Unless you want me to, it would be easy to do. But anything that can help promote a sense of community, and venues like this where CF patients can meet each other in a safe environment, I strongly encourage that.
And this year, the CFRI and Children's in Stanford launched the psychology program, and they also have some strong initiatives now going to really train the medical profession on CF.
Right.
And it sounds like, Ed, you've been in it for 26 years. You're probably on that team.
Well,
coaching.
Well, I'm not, but I may have to even look into that. I never tried to impose the Peter principle on myself, i.e., get to the level of no competency. I know what I do, and just by the very pleasant feedback from a lot of people over a lot of years, whatever it is I do, and I don't pretend to know exactly what it is. It works. When I can walk in the door, particularly even on the first few days of admission, when most CF folks really don't want to see anybody in the world because they come in because they feel rotten, they'll even kind of put up just at least a bit of a smile. They may say, "Oh, good to see you, Ed," but come back next week or a little bit later. I'm beat, but they still.
Thank you, Ed. That's beautiful.